Hello, brake checkers. I don't that. Why am I calling you brake checkers?
Brake checkers.
Welcome to Brake Check. Don't look at me that way. You're both looking at me that way. Stop looking at me that way.
I almost thought for a second that we were going to get the Jen cringe done in the first 3 seconds of the show.
That would have been epic.
I'm so I'm here and not here. Of course, I'm also drugged up on Benadryl.
Yeah, that's why she's not on camera today, even though it's the second time that she may have been on camera.
Yeah.
You know that what that means is everybody who watches this will think that you always look like you did last week.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like you're always wearing a black suit with a short, male pattern hair.
And I have a French accent.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with the faulty AI code that I used to generate her.
Uh-huh. I went back and I was watching it, and I remember the part when you were explaining something that was like a serious topic, and you were trying to hold a French accent. And I remember thinking to myself the same thing that you eventually said. Why am I still doing this accent?
Yeah, exactly. It's like when you're just doing it, you just start doing it again without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait a second.
It was
no,
pretty funny.
this is not my real.
It becomes your new personality.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you have a topic for us, or would you like to hear one of my topics?
I have a topper.
A topper?
For us.
Like a truck topper.
I have a body topper.
Okay.
Merry Christmas, everybody. It's Christmas time.
Nice.
I don't care what you say. Christmas starts November 1st.
I guess we need to start getting our Christmas tree down here.
But I'm excited because it's Christmas time. And
It
a lot
is.
of people don't like that I think it's Christmas time. But here's my theory.
Okay.
Because everyone says you can't have one holiday before the other, and Thanksgiving has to come first.
Okay.
I used to be one of those people until I woke up. So here's my theory. You ready for this?
Let's hear
November
it.
1st, Christmas starts. What happens right in the middle of November 1st and December 25th? Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So you start your decorations and all your celebration for Christmas now, November. Well, you're a few days late. You're 4 days late, America.
How dare you?
You start it now, and you're like, man, it's been a month. I'm exhausted. What better thing to refuel than the biggest meal of the year? Thanksgiving meal. So it's a refuel, recharge.
So you're
to
saying
get
that you shouldn't
all
eat?
the way to the end.
So you're saying you shouldn't eat until Thanksgiving? Like we should
No.
just stop eating?
I'm saying it's like people who carbo load before a marathon.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So you're like, oh man, I'm barely sustaining because I'm doing all this extra effort to celebrate and decorate for like the greatest holiday of the year. And then you're like, oh man, I'm just so tired. I don't know if I can make it the second half. Boom.
To be
Massive meal, refuel to get you through to Christmas.
To be fair, I can kind of see that actually because if you think about it, Christmas season is a season as to where Thanksgiving Day is a day. So if you look at it this way, you start decorating on November 1st and you get all your decorations done between the 1st and the 25th.
Yep.
Then after Thanksgiving, you can be thankful that I got all my decorations done, all the shopping's done, all that stuff is done. And then for the rest of the time, you can just enjoy Christmas.
3.5 weeks.
So you can spend the first half or the first part of November just decorating and getting prepared.
You get 3.5 weeks to prepare and to shop. And
Kinda
then
like that.
and then if you're one of those crazy people that do the Black Friday shopping, and I
Right.
know we have some in our family.
Right?
If you're one of those crazy people that do that, one, God bless you.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Two, that could be your big hurrah at the end of your decorations and preparation. And then you have 3.5 weeks
Yeah.
to just enjoy the spirit of Christmas.
Right. Rather than being stressed and rushing and all that. That's actually a really good point. I like that.
You're welcome.
I like that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Brake check advice
Uh-huh.
for life.
And you see the Grinch, I told you last week, it's the perfect Halloween to Christmas character. Just transitions because he was scary and then he changes into this happy, joyful-ish glee guy.
He's kind of a transition character, isn't he? Well, Stellantis dropped out of the SEMA Expo due to the strike. I know technically the strike is over at this point.
Stellantis is the one, just to like remind myself, the one was an American brand, but it's overseas.
Well,
they own American brands.
They own Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge.
Jeep and all that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But they're not American. So Ford and
they're
Chevy,
Australia.
Ford and GM are still the only American-based that we know, that like major manufacturers.
Yeah, Ford is more American-based than Chevy is, just because if I recall correctly, could be wrong, Chevy's main headquarters is now in China.
We're never wrong. It's the most factual podcast you will ever watch or listen to.
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
So any thoughts on Stellantis? I guess Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge getting out of...
So they pulled out of
SEMA
SEMA because of the strike.
That's what they said.
Is that sort of like a I'm taking my ball and going home kind of move? Or is it like a financial decision?
Maybe both.
It kind of seems like I'm a petty, bitter, I'm taking my ball and going home.
Right?
You know?
Right.
Like, I don't want to play anymore. You're going to strike against me? Yeah, see? I don't know why I'm doing a Bonnie and Clyde. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, it did cost them millions of dollars to strike.
Well,
hundreds of millions of dollars.
Maybe they couldn't fly. Maybe they couldn't afford the plane ticket.
Maybe that's true. They were like, okay, so we could either bring everyone from first class down to coach, or we could just not go.
Mm-hmm. I saw a video related to SEMA 2 days ago. When was SEMA? It was either yesterday or 2 days ago. I think it was Thursday. Which would have been the second. Where a guy from Bronco Nation YouTube channel tried to do a video where he visited every single Bronco build at SEMA. Okay. It was a 32 or 37 minute video.
Wow.
And he wasn't like taking his time. He did each Bronco, he covered it, and it was like maybe 15 to 25 seconds per build. And it was still a 30-plus minute video. Wow. There were some cool looking Broncos, and then there were some others that you're like, they didn't spend any time doing that. That's just a factory Bronco. They just drove it out. But there was some really cool stuff, like the aftermarket that they're coming out with this quickly for the Bronco.
Right.
It's pretty slick.
Well, I guess it doesn't surprise me too much because the Bronco name has like such a loyal customer base from the original Bronco that I would imagine a lot of that follows through into the new one.
And if you think about like the time that they announced it, and it was a long time before it actually debuted, it gave aftermarket people, if they had connections with Ford, to actually get one of the, like a prototype model to actually develop some aftermarket stuff.
That's true.
So Ford kind of did a good job with it in a lot of different aspects. Plus, competition drives improvements, so it forces Jeep to do better things, forces Toyota with the 4Runner to do better things, and then Ford has to do even better things than that. Hence the 392 Jeep. That's kind of why it came out.
Although Ford and Chevy, particularly Ford supposedly, is in some trouble when it comes to their trucks and SUVs.
Why? What happened?
Because
I haven't heard about this.
Well, because the economy is, the economy.
Yeah.
The people are wanting more cheaper vehicles. Ford just doesn't really make many cheap vehicles anymore.
Except the Maverick.
The Maverick is their cheapest vehicle, yeah. Yeah, like the average price of a Ford truck or SUV is like $50,000, $60,000.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and people are just like, I can't afford that. So Mavericks disappear like like magic, and yet they're F-150s and big Broncos that cost $60,000, $70,000. They're on the lots for months. Nobody wants them because they're just too expensive.
Yeah,
the average price of a car payment is like almost if I remember right, it hit $1,000 for like the first time in history.
That's insane.
Ooh.
Right? That's a house payment.
My mortgage is that.
Right.
Dang.
My mortgage is just over that.
Yeah. So the average price of a car payment now is at that $1,000 mark for the first time. It's like, come on.
Insanity.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in high school, you were still middle school, I think, when like the Viper, how old were you in 93 when the Viper came out?
93? Well, I was born in 87.
So you were 6.
Okay.
So, but when the Viper came out, I remember thinking, I was like, man, that's my new Corvette.
Right.
Because when I was 12, I don't know if I mentioned this in a previous podcast, but when I was 12, I promised myself I was going to own a Corvette before I died. Because as a 12-year-old, I was like, that is the epitome of car ownership, a Corvette.
Right.
And that's why I still want one, because I promised myself. But when a Viper came out, I was like, oh, that's my new Corvette.
Right.
And I remember thinking to myself, when I was younger, in my early 20s, making a lot of really stupid car decisions and Like I always wanted a new car, like every 9 to 12 months, and my payment kept going up and up and up and up, and it got to the point where I was like, man, if I wouldn't have done all this stupid car,
swapping around,
car swapping, my payment would be that of what probably could have been paying for a Viper at this point.
Yeah.
So, dad moment, kids, don't be stupid and get a new car every year.
Yeah.
Because it'll throw you under the bus.
No, it's same boat. I did trading back and forth when I was younger, just like, oh, I want this new car. I want that new car. And now my car payment is not $1,000, but it's high enough that I could afford a brand new GT Mustang, and my payment would actually probably be a little bit lower.
Do you want to see the last thing Jen searched?
Did it change?
I don't know. According to Jen, it's been the same because she was not adventurous this week,
right?
On her internet searches.
I think that pad stayed on the dining room table, and that was the last place I edited.
Right.
Well,
I don't think it's changed.
Entertainment centers?
Probably still entertainment centers.
Okay, well,
or whatever you looked up.
Let's, I closed out what I looked up last week.
Mm.
Let's guess the chances that she did look something up versus not. So is it still entertainment centers or just something else?
I'm going to say there's like a 15% chance that she looked up something else.
Yeah. We got to find something else because you have a distinct advantage that I don't like. I'm going to start texting your wife during the week and be like, hey, did you look something up? Just give me like a hint. Give me a clue.
Be like, yeah, I'm looking up plants again. Why?
But then again, yeah, she'll just always tell me plants.
Plants.
Probably.
That's
Plants and
actually
planets.
Plants or puppies?
Which is...
Oh my gosh, I've been looking at so many dogs on my phone.
Yeah.
Oh, on your phone. Let's see what the iPad says. Entertainment centers.
You know how like a lot of women have baby fever? I have dog fever. Like
Puppy
I
fever?
want a puppy so freaking bad. Like
Really?
I've been watching so many training videos.
Do you know what kind of dog? Are you trying to narrow it down?
Golden Doodle.
Oh, that's right. You mentioned that. The dog that I was telling you last week, I think it was off the pod, but he was looked like Falcor.
Oh.
From Neverending Story. They're called Comfort Retrievers.
Comfort Retrievers.
Comfort Retrievers. And I can't remember what the two mix was, but it's a Golden Retriever and I think it's a Cocker Spaniel.
Huh.
So much fur.
But it looks like Falcor.
Coming off of its
and
body.
if you did that, you would have to name it Falcor or I quit the pod.
Oh gosh.
I'm just...
You're just saying.
Well, we could make its middle name Falcor.
That's a cool name, though.
It is a cool.
Even for
I
a
am
real
debating
name.
between Fozzie and
Bim
Falcor.
Could be Bim Falcor Sparks.
Back to
Let's
cars.
get back onto cars.
Back to cars. Okay.
Yeah. What else we got?
The Energy Secretary announced $7 billion hydrogen hub project.
The NG or MG, like the MG midgets.
The Energy Secretary.
Oh, the Energy Secretary. I thought you said the MG Secretary.
No, the Energy Secretary.
It's like I thought MG went out of business a long time ago.
Maybe they did.
The Energy Secretary announced what now? I wasn't listening.
A $7 billion hydrogen hub project.
7 billion hydrogen hub project. Say that 3 times fast.
Right. So
what does that mean?
So America, I guess our government is investing $7 billion, creating 7 hydrogen hubs in, I forget where, but around America, in order to promote the idea of using hydrogen as a green fuel instead of going necessarily all electric.
Aren't there some FedEx or UPS trucks that use hydrogen? Like they have the big rectangular tanks behind the cab?
They do, yeah.
That's hydrogen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why didn't we ever use that instead of electricity?
The big reason...
if you go everybody electric, if the whole nation has to go electric, the grid can't support that.
Not currently, no. The grid will have to grow as the demand for electric cars grows, but
you can't.
It would take a lot, which is why electricity is probably going more expensive. The thing about hydrogen, the reason why it's hasn't caught on yet is mainly because it's very energy intensive to remove hydrogen from like oxygen or water, not oxygen, but water. Hydrogen is very clingy. It likes to hold on to other things. So in order to extract it,
so
it
it's a
takes
woman.
a lot of energy.
Comments. I'm just kidding. I'm trying to draw more viewers by making controversial comments.
Right? It works.
Okay, so hydrogen's a woman.
Yes, hydrogen is the woman of the world.
And oxygen is the man. Is like, get off.
Oh,
That's why there's a
man.
2 in there, because they got multiple personalities.
Right? Usually that's women that have the
I was
multiple
gonna say,
personalities.
yeah, I was gonna say.
That's what I'm
Usually
saying.
the woman is.
H2.
Oh, yeah, 2
Oh.
hydrogen, 1 oxygen.
Ah,
I see.
gotcha. Ah-ha-ha-ha.
Yeah.
Got it.
Chemistry. It's early.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it takes a lot of energy to remove hydrogen from like water or other things. And then also because the hydrogen is very small, the hydrogen molecules are very small, you have to have tanks that are very accurately produced, very expensive to contain hydrogen.
It's got to be quite a bit of pressure in the tank too, right?
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be, but if
Because isn't it hydrogen pretty volatile?
yes, it is it is very flammable, but it's not necessarily like it won't like spontaneously combust or anything like that. Like
Like a human being does.
right. But
Yeah.
it is flammable. I mean, obviously, we all know the Hindenburg.
Oh, so did I mention that I have a friend who's a big NASCAR fan on the
Yes.
last pod?
I think so,
I
yeah.
spoke
Not on the
to
pod
him.
though.
Okay, well, I have a friend who's a big NASCAR fan, and we are not. Outside of the fact that they are cars and they have motors and they sound cool, kind of a useless thing.
And they go around a circle.
Yeah.
Broom, broom.
It's
mean,
an oval.
Oh, they go around an oval. Broom, broom.
The vehicles
I
are
s-
entertaining.
Yeah.
Or cool.
I mean, I would drive a NASCAR on the street,
Right.
take it through a McDonald's drive-through.
I find the equipment that they use to do the pit stops fascinating.
Yeah, like
oh, yeah.
the 17 combined seconds between the pit stops, the start of the race and the end of the race.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
The 4 hours in between all those things,
Right.
so bad.
It's-
Why? Like, I get it. When you're in the car, could be exciting.
Right.
To watch them just around and around.
Yeah.
Why?
It's kind of like the same thing as drag racing, but extended.
Yeah.
Like the most exciting part about drag racing is getting off the line.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have your RPMs just right. You got to warm up the tires. If you do too much or too little, you're going to get different traction. The track needs to be prepped. It's like your throttle. Like getting off the
Yeah.
line is like there's so much
There's
to
so
it.
much more to it than just hitting the gas and going.
Yeah, but once you're off the line,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you have an automatic, you put your foot to the floor and you hold the wheel straight. And
And if you have too much power, then I mean, the more power you have to obviously have more driving skill to control it. And
Right,
to
right.
Feather the throttle and do what you need to do. But
Right.
yeah, if you're just buying a car off the showroom floor and taking it out the drag strip, it's about your reaction time.
yeah, and then after that, it's just keep your foot down.
Yeah.
And so basically, NASCAR is the keep your foot down part, but extended for 4 hours instead of like
I
4
don't
seconds.
understand why. Like, okay, it's a race. You want to give opportunity for people to pass and do these things, but like the Daytona 500, that means 500 laps.
Right.
That's what the number means. It's not like a significant number relating to this is the 500th year, or there was 500 drivers in the initial year of NASCAR. It was just this 500 laps.
Right.
You're going around a 1 mile plus track 500 times.
So
That's boring.
So what you're saying is that we need your friend to come on so he can call us idiots and tell us why we're wrong.
Yeah, and so I spoke with him. His name is Brock, and I call him Brocky Balboa. And he said he would be more than happy to come on and defend his fandom of NASCAR. So
All right.
you just got to let me know when. I'll get with him and get it scheduled to bring him on.
I will say the good thing, like the thing that I enjoy about NASCAR is the pit stops, those are really cool, but it's the passion that people
Yeah.
have for it. It's the energy,
So it
Yeah.
has nothing to do with the actual race.
correct?
Okay.
It's just the energy
Yeah.
and the passion. Yeah.
People get like really passionate, like hardcore, like soccer, rugby. I'm sorry,
Right.
football passionate about NASCAR. It's insane.
Right.
So Brock's girlfriend, she went to her first NASCAR event after she started dating him,
Okay.
and she was telling me about it, and I was like, "All right, tell me, what was it like?" And she was like, "The cars sounded really cool when the cars went flying by. It was exciting, but I was like, you were physically there. You got to experience that rush, that exhilaration." But she goes, beforehand, we got there like too many hours in advance. And she's like, they had all these vendors and they had carnivals and they had this and they had that and they had all these things. It was really cool. And I was like, so what I'm hearing is that they had to bring in a carnival to make it worth going to.
Wow.
Oh.
And she's like, I didn't think of it that way. Yeah. And she was telling me about all these different features that had nothing to do with NASCAR.
There's all the other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like if you go to a football game or a baseball game or soccer game,
Right.
like all the vending and all the stuff and has to do with the sport,
Right.
not NASCAR.
Mm.
So that being said,
Yeah.
I've never been to a NASCAR event because it's NASCAR.
Oh.
Before we close, do you want to say anything about our new release schedule?
Oh, that'd probably be good, huh?
Yeah, I mean, that way they know,
Right.
you know, the less than quarter of 100 people that. But hey, you're important. We're not saying
Yeah.
you're unimportant, but you need to make your viewership more important by telling other people. Because we actually have a goal. Like, we don't want it to be just this. Like,
Right.
this is fun,
Yeah.
but we don't. This was never like the full-on intention of Break Check. Like, we want to do some really seriously awesome, fun stuff.
Yeah.
Outside with actual vehicles, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Wouldn't
have
that be
some,
crazy?
Yeah, we have some pretty like intense, awesome, fun plans, but we can't do it if we don't have the funding. To have the funding, we have to have viewers. To have viewers, you have to talk to people. So
Yes.
spread it. I mean, if it's enjoyable, I don't know if we're fun to watch or not. We have fun making it,
We do.
but if you want to see us do some crazy fun stuff, like we have a whole long shared notes thing on our iPhones that
Yeah, that
of
we keep
plans
adding
of
to.
things that we want to do that would be just a blast to do
Oh, yeah.
and to watch. So, but we have to have the support to do that.
This is just the start. So
Yeah, we just wanted to do something. we had to scratch the itch, if you will.
Right.
And so this is what we just came up with to get it going, to get it started.
Yeah. And as far as the schedule goes, this episode will come out as normal Sunday night. If it gets delayed, Monday morning, but preferably Sunday night. But the next episode will be released, I think we agreed on Saturday mornings, right?
Yeah, like we'll have it edited throughout the week, and then it'll be scheduled to be opened up like Saturday morning sometime. So when you wake up and you're drinking your orange juice or coffee and eating your toast, whatever you do on Saturday mornings,
Right.
or Saturday afternoons if you sleep in, then that video will be there ready to go Saturday
Indeed.
mornings when you have actually enough free time to watch it instead of Sunday nights when when you're getting ready for bed. Excuse
Indeed.
me, to go to work on Monday morning.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I guess, expect a new schedule change where episodes will come out on a different day. And also, if we discuss any news and you're like, well, that happened a week ago. Well, now you know why.
Yeah. So like this one, we're filming, it's November 4th, Saturday. So it'll come out tomorrow, November 5th, Sunday night when you're watching it now.
Right.
Or maybe you're watching it Monday morning. But from that point on, it'll come out every Saturday morning. So the first one will be November 11th.
Yeah, indeed.
Yep.
And with that, I think that's our exit.
We'll take it easy. See ya.
Bye.